So we're getting ready to take a trip end to end. We're going to travel down Baltimore Avenue. Now, right now we're on Baltimore Pike. After you leave Philadelphia, the city proper, Baltimore Avenue becomes Baltimore Pike. And so we're getting ready to travel into Philadelphia. This is the suburbs, Delaware County area. And we're going to travel from one end of Baltimore Pike, starting in West Philadelphia, to the end before the University of Pennsylvania's campus takes over. So today we are going to be driving end to end Baltimore Avenue. So once you leave Philadelphia heading into the Yaden area, Baltimore Avenue becomes Baltimore Pike, and we are currently on Baltimore Pike. But we will soon be entering the city of Philadelphia, and we will be on Baltimore Avenue. And we're going to travel Baltimore Avenue to the end. You can't go any further because there'll be buildings, city buildings, and also the University of Pennsylvania will intersect. Over to my right is Fernwood Cemetery. It's been here for a very long time. And right at this light, this intersection that we're getting ready to come to, we're going to be entering Philadelphia. And there used to be a sign that says, "Welcome to Philadelphia." I don't know if it's there anymore. Oh yeah, there it is. It's over to the left. It says, "Welcome to Philadelphia." And now we are on Baltimore Avenue. You may notice that in Philadelphia there are a lot of tracks on the roads, on the streets. These are trolley tracks. There's a lot of trolleys in Philadelphia, and yes, the cars travel on the same tracks as the trolleys. I noticed in some cities, if they have trolleys, their trolley tracks are separate, on a separate track away from their cars. But here in Philly, we do it all together. And there goes the trolley right there, the 34 trolley. Oh, and look, there's another one behind that. Sometimes for the holidays, the trolleys decorate and put decorations. Speaking of decorations, this house over to my left, oh my goodness, it's actually two houses together. They always have, oh, I can actually see the person putting the stuff up. I almost thought they were like an invisible man or invisible woman, because every season, every holiday, it doesn't matter how small, it could be Flag Day, they decorate their house for that holiday. And here we can see them putting up their Christmas decorations. They got a Buddha up there. They got Mickey Mouse. They got, you know, I have to interview that person because they've been doing this for years. And when I say years, over 20 years. Absolutely over 20 years, maybe even 30. So, on the corner at the light, there's a KFC. About 25 years ago, maybe 35 years ago, used to be a church there, a beautiful church. And unfortunately, it just sat and the roof caved in and they tore it down to make a Kentucky Fried Chicken. So, you know, my feelings about that is what a wasted historical piece of property that could have been used for something to serve the community. They could even put the KFC inside of the church. I've actually seen old historic mansions turn into a fast food store. I mean, it's not my favorite alternative to tearing them down, but it's better than tearing it down. Here on the right side, we have some old buildings. I don't know if they used to be a movie theater or a church, but you can definitely see the intricacies of the ornamental decorations on it, and they really don't do that anymore with buildings. Everything is kind of streamlined or kind of minimalist, a lot of glass and steel, but all of the ornate sort of decorations and cornices, they don't really do that anymore. There's another trolley. Wow. A lot of trolleys. Sometimes you'll wait for a trolley for like a half hour. I've just seen three or so trolleys in a matter of minutes. Oh, okay. It's really a beautiful day. The sky is so blue. And this is interesting, this drive, because we are in West Philadelphia. This is actually one of the boundaries that separates West Philadelphia from Southwest Philadelphia. Now, some people will argue the point, but based on my research, once you cross over Baltimore Avenue, this way, if I was to make a right here and go up, I would be in Southwest Philadelphia. Well, that part of Southwest Philadelphia that's on the edge of West Philadelphia. Now, this part of West Philadelphia here is now when they've renamed it, and instead of calling it West Philadelphia, they call it the University City area. So we're coming right into the University City area, and you will notice a lot of trendy cafes and salons and boutiques in this area. But this is West Philadelphia, basically. And they call it University City because the University of Penn, Drexel University, the University of Sciences, all of these universities are in a close proximity to each other. And, you know, they need housing for their students and for their faculty, their professors and all. So a lot of staff and administration from these universities live in this area. And also, these houses are pretty old. These are pretty, they've always been pretty affluent, sort of an affluent neighborhood, excuse me. So these houses are like 3-story brick and brownstones, really beautiful. We just passed Mariposa. Mariposa is a co-op grocery store, so you can pay a membership, and they have a lot of organic and hard to find groceries there. You don't have to be a member to shop there. Here's another church. This church has been an integral part of the community. This is Calvary Center, Calvary Church. Years ago, they rented out space for people to have birthday parties or AA meetings or special events. Now they have a theater house in here that performs shows. And you see their Black Lives Matter flag up there. So they're about the community. Curio Theater Company is now housed in the Calvary Cultural Center, which is also a church. And now this part around 47th Street is really, really, you know, as we get into what people would consider the University City area. A lot of shops, a laundromat. Lee's Deli has been there since 1993. He's been an integral part of the community. One thing I like about this section is there's a lot of trees now. Because we're in the wintertime, you know, the leaves are off, but come the spring, in the summer, in fall, it is so beautiful with, you know, all the trees in full bloom. A lot of students live in this area too, and this is sort of like a very sort of liberal space. So you have a lot of just artistic people, a lot of people like, we're getting ready to cross a park, come close to a park or drive by a park named Clark Park, and you'll see like people in warmer weather, like reading books, playing chess, playing instruments and drums, selling like handmade goods like earrings and things like that. Interesting fact, the site of Clark's Park used to be a Civil War hospital named Satterlee Hospital, back in the 1800s, back during the Civil War. That's me going over. Looks like there's an emergency. I hope everyone's okay. Over to my right is a school for I think children who have cerebral palsy. It's a beautiful building and it's been here for years. And here is Clark Park. And there's the information about Satterlee U.S. General Hospital. It was a military hospital during the time that I mentioned, and it was housed right here. Of course, they tore it down. Other buildings that they just tore down, a lot of residential homes and things, which is sad because they'll probably build something that doesn't match the aesthetic of this community, but we shall see. Another church here to my right. This church also has a schoolhouse in it. The city school. So we're coming up to 41st and Baltimore Avenue. And we're getting close to the end of Baltimore Avenue. Remember, we're driving end to end. Okay. And you can see how the street is cut off. You see city buildings, and you also see university buildings. So at this point, I can no longer go straight. It's cutting Baltimore Avenue off, and we are forced to make a right-hand turn. Then we have the Veterans Hospital, so we're forced to make a left-hand turn. And that, my friend, pretty much is the end of Baltimore Avenue.